Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a super fantastic day, morning, or evening, whichever day or evening or morning it is when you are viewing this video. My name is Greg Napier, and I am shooting this video from the comfort of my own home, sitting on my porch here in Columbus, Ohio. And I wanted to share something with you, ladies and gentlemen, that most people don't get it. And there are a lot of reasons why they don't get it. Is that because they have lost their vigor, they have lost their enthusiasm. And what I'm talking about is the three things that you should be considering, right along with a lot of other things. And I talked about this in an earlier video, and you might want to go to subscribe to my YouTube channel or reach out to me on Facebook, and you will see that video where I talked about, you have to have a budget, you need to have a budget, or you need to have an emergency fund. But on top of that, those are some integral parts that you really need. But here's the gasoline that you really need to throw on the fire to really keep it going. You do need those things. You need a budget to run a business. Absolutely. You need to have an emergency fund in the event that something goes wrong. And what are you going to do? But most importantly, I'm going to share with you three things that you need to keep all of that going to complete the whole complete package. And one is you need to be passionate about what you're doing. Two, you need to be absolutely coachable. And three, you need to be very persistent. Yeah, I was doing some research, because the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I was doing some research, and when I came to a conclusion on the research, I found out that 90% of the people who get in business quit. So my thing is, if you're going to take the time to do that and get in business, and 90% of the people quit, why get involved in a business if you're going to quit? Why sit down, go through the planning process, if you even plan? That's a whole nother video all by itself. People don't plan. Somebody whispered something in their ear and they said, "Oh, that sounds good, I'm going to do that." You just jumped out there. So it's like the old saying, if I say, it's cool to jump off this bridge, you're going to jump off the bridge. Don't always be a follower, be a leader. And that's for another video. But let me stay on topic here and talk to you about some of the reasons that you need to stay focused on this and become passionate about what you do and be persistent. No matter what, there are going to be days that you're not going to feel like doing it, but you have to remind yourself why you even got up this morning or whatever and decided to go into a business. What motivated you to want to be in business? Keep running that scenario inside your head each and every time you wake up and look at yourself in the mirror, because something sparked something in you the day that you decided that you wanted to become an entrepreneur. And if you didn't have a spark, you need to reevaluate why you even chose to be in business. That was a high number. It was actually frightening to me when I found that out, that 90% of the people who go into business, they quit. And that's why I said to myself, why even get started? So you already know those 90% of that, that's a 10%, that's a small number. That's a very small number. That's why a lot of people are in the situation they're in, because they don't take the time to think this through. They just listen to some people and then they decide, I'm going to go in business because that looks good. Business is not for everybody, because if it was, everybody would be in a business. It's just, so you have to rethink that and understand what your motivation is. And if you don't have the desire and the heart, and you're not going to allow yourself to become coachable and take constructive criticism, then don't go into business. Stay on your job, be satisfied with that, and be happy. But if you decide that you want to be in business and you have the vigor and you have the heart and you have the drive and you're willing to go the extra mile, get up early in the morning and stay up late at night, listen to what your coach and hence coach, make sure you get the right coach. Because if you're going to allow yourself to be coachable, you do have to seek out the right coach. And once you decide to do that, then you start asking questions to that person that you want to become your coach. That's vitally important. And you just that's why when people go into business, they have to think this thing through. You have to write down a plan, work the goals out. There's a lot of work involved in this, ladies and gentlemen, but there's a lot of reward at the end. There's a big reward. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 10 years old. Yes. Yeah, and if you look at the previous video that I put out, you'll see. And I really wanted to take my time with this. That's why I'm sitting here on my porch shooting this. It's the end of fall. Right now, as I'm shooting this video, it is November the 30th, 2016. And what's going to happen, we're getting ready to turn the corner and come into December. So winter is coming upon us here in Ohio. You might be in California. You might be overseas. You might be anywhere when you're viewing this. The point to this is, ladies and gentlemen, think this through. Don't just jump out there and say, hey, I want to be in business because Susie or Johnny said it was a great thing to do. Think this through, ladies and gentlemen. Being in business has its rewards and it has some pitfalls. But if I can assure you, if you allow yourself to be coachable and you have the persistence that no matter what, I'm going to make it, you'll make it. You will make it, I'm telling you. But if you don't allow yourself to be coachable, you will fail. Doesn't make you a failure. It's just that you didn't think this thing through. Because there's been a lot of people. I read an article about Colonel Sanders. He didn't become a multimillionaire until he was well up into his 70s. But he didn't give up. He was persistent. You know how many no's he probably had to go through? Learn how to make no become your best friend. People are going to tell you no all the time. If they told you yes, it would be a wonderful world. It's like Alice in Wonderland. You know, be realistic. Think it through. If you want to learn more about how to do that and the books that you probably need to read and things of that nature, I remember Jim Rohn saying something that really stuck with me, and I use it a lot. He said, being in a business is like what did Jim Rohn say? He said, being in business is like working full-time on your job and part-time on your fortune. So that means if you're still working, work your job. Work the plan, ladies and gentlemen. Understand that there is a pot of gold at the rainbow if you work. Work. You're going to have to work. You have to be persistent and you got to be coachable. Yeah. So with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, if you really enjoyed this and got some value out of this, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. The information will be down below somewhere in the description, or you can hit me up on Facebook. You know, I am an open book. I understand what it's like to fail, and I understand what it's like to have success. I've been on both sides of the track, but I know that it's work. Yes, you will not get it just like it's not a lottery ticket. If you're looking for a lottery ticket, stay on your job. Jobs are great, but don't look at business like a lottery.